All right, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today we are going to be taking a look at my TBR for the month of January 2025. And yes, we are already 3 weeks into the month. We're pretty much at the end, but I always really like doing TBR videos, and I personally enjoy watching what somebody expects to read in a month and then to see how far they actually get afterwards. So everything that I have here is what I had planned because I have pretty much almost all of 2025 planned out already. So this was done before January, and let's see how far that I actually get. So 3 weeks in, I've already read some of these books, or I'm currently in the process of reading them. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go, I've got 4 books here, but technically there's up to 6 books that I might read. One of them is just on the way, and the other one is, actually both of them are on the way. One of them needs to be released, and the other one's just in the mail and should be here soon. So we'll go over that, and I kind of just have these in the order of how big they are. That's it, of their length anyway. Not the amount, not width, not the amount of pages, but anyway. All right, let's start off with the Silver Blood Promise, which is part of the Last Legacy Book 1 from James Logan. This came out last year, I think in springtime or something like that. And this is I think this is a new author stepping foot into a fantasy novel where the main character, his father was recently murdered, and the son is now, he kind of was estranged from his father in the last little while because of something that happened when he was younger, when he was in college. And now he kind of wants to redeem himself in his father's spirit, I guess. And my cat just joined me. He's going to be a staple, I think, in a lot of these videos because he just always wants to be part of everything that I'm doing. But yeah, so the son kind of wants to redeem himself now that his father has passed. And that's essentially what leads into kind of like this mystery set in a fantasy world where he's going to be trying to figure out why his father has died. Then we've got 2 books here that are kind of part of the same series. And I don't really know which one you should read first. I'm going to read The Fall first, that the way, but you can kind of read Of Blood and Fire first as well. So what this is that it's The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. I should really figure out how to pronounce his name. But we have essentially a novella. So this is under 100 pages. And then you have the actual book 1 novel here. And I think it's probably better to read The Fall first because this happens first. And then 400 years later, because of what happened here, we get into Of Blood and Fire, and this starts your actual traditional story, whereas this is more like a history piece. So what we get in The Fall is essentially just a really big, you're going to be joining right in the middle of this massive battle, and whatever happens here then kind of bleeds into 400 years later. You would then pick up with a more traditional story with some, your basic plot of a bunch of 20-year-olds that live in a small town on a farm kind of thing, like regular farm boys that are kind of going to be starting their own quest essentially. And that's what A Blood and Fire is. And then it kind of goes on from there. So I just figured that there's 2, and Ryan, because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, has said that you can kind of start with A Blood and Fire and then read The Fall, or you could read The Fall first and then read A Blood and Fire. I just think that I'm going to go with like the chronological way. So I'm going to start with this one and then move into this one. And this was published first too. So. And last but not least, in terms of the books that I have physically with me right now, we have The Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. And this is book 1 of a series. The 3rd, I think, is coming out this year. Same thing with Blood and Fire. I think the 4th book is coming out, The Bound and the Broken, later on this year, just in 2 months or something. I think it's February or March that it comes out. The Fate of the Fallen, book 3 comes out, I think, in February. So I'm going to make a video on all the series that I kind of want to start this year. And because a lot of them have sequels coming out in 2025. So what we have here is that there's 2 main characters. There's kind of like the side character who is not the prophesized hero, but he's kind of the main character. So it's kind of like Sam and Frodo. You're going to be following Sam along by the sounds of it, instead of Frodo. And the prophecy is that this here Frodo, well, let's just pretend it's Frodo, is going to be fulfilling this prophecy. That doesn't really work because Frodo was never prophesized. But there was this hero that is prophesized to kind of vanquish the evil. And what happens is that people start to kind of be like, I don't think that this is really going to work. So we're going to pull out from here and just try to survive and allow evil to conquer the land. And so then you have this struggle between the hero and his sidekick, essentially, trying to decide, are they going to try to still fulfill the prophecy and vanquish evil, or are they just going to be like, let's just try to figure out how to survive? Kind of a twist on your general story where there's a prophecy, because I generally hate prophecies. I hate the idea of, here, this is what's going to happen. This is prophesized to happen, and this is the good guy, this is pure evil, and this is how the good hero is going to vanquish evil. It's sometimes good if there's a nice twist, but it has to be really extreme for it to be really good. It's very rare that I find that that was just amazing. It happens once in a while, but oftentimes I'm not happy with prophecies. I just don't want to know anything going in. But this has the nice twist on it where it sounds like they might fail. Who knows? Until you actually read, I guess, the whole trilogy, which should be coming out soon. So what I also did for the other two books that I have is book 2 is on the way. And I also will be getting a mystery thriller that's coming out at the very end of the month, January 28th. We're getting We Are Watching You. And that is a mystery regarding a character called Meg that gets into a car accident. There's a tragedy that happens in her life due to this car accident. So to kind of deal with the grief, she opens up an old bookstore, and she's kind of working there. And while she's there, she's starting to get threats, and people keep looking at this book, and I think it's called The Prophecy or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's just by chance. It's also called The Prophecy, that was written 30 years ago, and I think it was written by her strange father. And there's a bunch of conspiracy theorists that think that this book prophesies the apocalypse. And so it's set in modern day, right? And it's a bunch of conspiracy theorists that the father was a Satanist or something like that as well. And now she's starting to think that the threats, the accident that happened a few months prior might have been because that they were actually going after Meg. So it sounds wild. Satan, like modern day mystery thriller where there's a bunch of conspiracy theories going around, and Satanism and threats and people potentially dying and all that kind of stuff. It sounds like an interesting, fun ride for a mystery thriller. So I decided that I would definitely be looking into that. So that's everything that I hope to read in the month of January. We'll see how far I get. And I mean, I have read some of these already. When I do my video about what I read in January, I'll say what order I read them in. So I'll let you know what I thought about everything. So thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Oh, wait, we can actually do You Have Been Catted In now. Look how cute that guy is. Oh my God, that face. All right, see y'all later.